All right, so we are wrapping up the golf season for 2021, and this is where we start making some goals and some lists for what we're going to be doing for 2022. Any gifts? We're getting into that time of the year where we got to start thinking about things that we might want to improve our golf game. So I've got a couple things coming up here soon, including some talk about clubs. Can't wait for that. But today we're going to talk about the one piece of equipment I require my players, especially my competitive players, you must get for your golf game. It's not even a question, you have to have it. So we're going to talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Scott Hogan coming at you, and today we're doing a little equipment talk. So as you all know, I coach golf. I coach golf for people that are trying to perform at the best level that they can play. I also work with recreational players trying to compete on their own personal levels, but I do work with a lot of competitive players that need to be able to play and play at a level that is very high. And one of those things that when they come to me, one of the first things that we look at and check to see if they have in their golf bag is a rangefinder. All right. And so that is going to be something that you're going to want to have. If you do not have a reliable rangefinder in this day and age, I think it's something that you really need to look in. And I'm not talking about GPSs. You know, you can use your phone. I use these as well. You know, GPS apps for free, all that stuff. Those are nice, but those are good for like a general idea of where you're going to the hole. But I'm talking about a rangefinder where you, in a variety of different situations, are able to check out where you're at, what you're doing, and where you're going. The reason I like a rangefinder, okay, let's talk about why you need this over, let's say, like a GPS. One, I want to be able to shoot any target that I want. When you're using a GPS, a lot of times you're going to have things where it says, hey, this is how far it is to this target. This is how far it is to this target. Well, I want to know how far it is to where the rough line is. How am I going to get that exactly? Well, I can shoot that usually with a rangefinder. Now, when I'm using a GPS as well, the thing that I don't like is GPS, now they've come a long way, but we used to have them on my carts at the course I worked at, and they could be up to 15 yards off. Now, that is a massive amount. That's a massive amount of off that you can be. That's more than a golf club. So for me, it's always a little bit skeptical of, hey, something that is seen from a satellite down to this tiny little thing from space, and we're expecting it to get it down to within a yard. I think that's not realistically going to happen. And to be honest, if I'm going to play my best golf, I want to know how far I'm going to hit the ball. I've invested in all this technology, launch monitors, new clubs, new shoes, all this stuff, the best golf ball, all that. And all that stuff is supposed to make me better and understand how far I hit the ball and be able to do it more consistently. But when I get out to the course, I'm not even going to bother to get a very precise yardage. And in this day and age, you can do that so easily. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I think that you need to get your yardage. It's always a shocker to me when I go out and play with people for the first time, how I'll say, all right, we're out here. What's the first thing we're going to do when we get up to a shot? And they don't know what to do. And I'm always like, the very first thing you do is you figure out how far away you are. You figure out where you are hitting to the flag, how far you want to hit it off the tee, any of that stuff. Before you even start figuring in the wind, all of that stuff. You have to know the yardage. And you have to know it really well, because then you're going to start working your way off of all of this. If you watch the Chasing Scratch series, you saw me doing this every single shot. I was always being able to pick a yardage. I was doing it off the tee, stuff like that. I was never get over a shot and not hit it without knowing how far I was trying to hit the ball. That just doesn't seem like a smart strategy to me, if in my opinion. The last reason you want to get a rangefinder is you do not want to guess, all right? The more precise you are, the more confident you are. The more confident you are, the better the swing you are going to make. The other thing is, the more precise you are, the more you are going to learn. You're going to learn, hey, I've got 135 yards to the flag. I hit a 9-iron. I go up there. I fix my ball mark. Okay, it's 2 yards behind the flag. All right, there we go. I carried it 137 yards. The other thing I like about rangefinders, especially the one I use, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this Tec 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 rangefinder, is It has slope features. I can actually see how far it's playing uphill or downhill. And now that's not tournament legal, but I use one that is tournament legal by just pushing it in. Now it doesn't do the slope, but I can learn how much effect certain uphills and downhills have on my golf ball, and then I put that into the memory bank, and then when I run into that situation in a tournament where I'm not allowed to use the slope, I'm better able to pick out the right number as I go. Or if I'm able to play a practice round, just write down how much downhill or uphill it's playing. It's as simple as that. Now, as I mentioned, I play this Tec 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 rangefinder. Now, this is more of a newer brand, but what I look for in a rangefinder is a couple of things, and so this is why this is the one I choose and that I'm looking for. So, one, I'm looking for accuracy. So obviously I've tested this out against some of the other top brands that other people have, that it is getting exactly the same numbers. So for me, that's huge. I also go by how easy is it to shoot my designated target. So on this rangefinder, there's actually 3 different modes. One of the modes is for you to hit some bigger objects, like if I'm going to shoot a hillside, or if I'm going to shoot a big tree, or if I'm going to shoot a general area, it's going to pick that up a little bit easier. The other mode that you can do is it actually has a pin locking feature. So I know that I hit the pin. I can't tell you how many times my college players would shoot something. They'd be like, "Oh man, I hit it and I flushed it," and they fly the green. And then I catch up with it. I'm like, "Well, how far do you think it was?" And they're like, "Oh, it's this far." Well, they shot the trees behind because they didn't know that they were actually hitting the trees and not the pin. This device is going to let you know, yeah, you are on the pin. It vibrates, and it also has a little icon in there saying, yeah, we got the pin. This is what you're going to have to that. So that is important. For me, it's also really important to have the slope feature. When you are practice rounds, when you're just playing for fun, I really like to have the slope. I think, again, it's a great learning opportunity, but you know what? I'll take the more information, but it's also super important that it is tournament legal. So you have to have the ability to turn it off, and that's what this orange ring is signifying that it is on. Now when I push it in, it is off, and people know that it's off. So that way there's no questions during a tournament whether or not I'm using the slope. So that would be it. And then the last thing that I'm going to look for is battery life, things like that. I've had this rangefinder for a couple of months, and I have yet to change the batteries. And you saw how much I was playing when I was doing the chasing scratch, all that type of stuff. So it is very good with the batteries. I like rangefinders that use batteries because when I'm out there playing, I don't want to have like the charging ones, because I don't want to have to charge it, bring it inside, charge it, remember to bring it back to my golf bag and make it to the course with it. That's too many steps, and I'm really, really bad already about making sure I bring stuff to the course. So what I like is this one stays on the bag or in the bag. It has a battery, and then I keep a separate spare battery in it. So in case it goes out on the golf course, which is rare, I probably go through 2 batteries in an entire year. If maybe even not that many, but that's what I do, and I know I'm going to be set for any situation that might come up. So again, as we're getting ready for what you're looking for, I use this Tec 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 ULT-S. I will link down below these rangefinders because these are the best ones I've found. I've tried a bunch of different ones where, hey, I'm going to use this, and then like it's a little bit cheaper than some of the real high-end ones, but I get the same results, and I don't want to be spending like $600-700 on a rangefinder, but I want to make sure I get accurate numbers. So finding that balance and then going on from there. So something that I want everybody that is watching this for 2022, I want you to make this your goal. If you do not have a rangefinder, I want you to get one. Again, not a GPS, not if you have that stuff, that's great. You know, again, I use that part too just for general looks, but get yourself a rangefinder, because anybody that is playing, that's what they're using, that's playing at a high level. They don't use those watches or anything like that. The rangefinder, it is more accurate. It lets you shoot more targets. And then we can talk about some strategy stuff of how you use it to get better, but you're going to be more confident in where you're hitting the ball, your shots, and all of that stuff. I mean, that's going to make you a better player. So let's get going on some of those goals for 2022. I want you to shoot your best scores. Get it on your holiday list. Get it on your gift list, your birthdays, whatever. Make that commitment. Hey, you're investing in all these other areas of the game. Get this simple one that is going to last for a long, long time, and it might have some of the biggest impact on your scoring that you might see. So, if you have any questions about it, leave a comment down below. Again, I'll link this particular rangefinder that I use down below. It's my favorite. And make sure you click that subscribe button, because we're going to be talking about some more things that you can be doing in this off season, especially with the holidays and gifts times coming up. Some things that you want to start planning for that you'll want to take care of if you're looking to improve for next season. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.